My daughter looked me dead in the eyes through the Uber window and hissed, "Sign the company over, Mom, or tonight you join Dad in the grave." Let me paint you a picture. Me, Eleanor Hayes, 65 years old, white as New England chowder, standing on my front porch in Brookline at 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday that smells like dead leaves and betrayal. I just beat stage 3 breast cancer 6 months ago, using my own company's experimental drugs. My hair's growing back silver and stubborn, just like me. I built Hayes Pharmaceuticals from the ground up after my husband Richard drowned in that boating accident off Cape Cod 15 years back. Turned a garage startup into $12 million of pure American grit. We make painkillers, anti-inflammatories, the good stuff that keeps Boston's aging elite moving through their yoga classes and country club brunches. Tonight I'm wearing my cashmere cardigan and holding my phone, waiting for my Uber home from my oncologist's final clearance appointment. Clean bill of health. I should be celebrating. Instead, I'm watching a black Toyota Camry roll up my circular driveway, and something in my gut twists like a rusty knife. The back window slides down. Victoria's face appears. My daughter. 42 years old, hollow-cheeked, pupils like pinpricks even in the dark. She's supposed to be in rehab in Connecticut. That's where I've been sending $15,000 a month for the past 8 months. For her addiction to oxycodone, my company's oxycodone. "Mom," she says, and her voice is sandpaper over broken glass. "Get in the car." I laugh. Actually laugh. Because what else do you do when your only child crawls out of whatever hole you've been paying for and shows up unannounced? "Victoria, baby, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in treatment." I said, "Get in the car." Her hand moves, and I see it then, the chrome glint of a pistol resting on her lap. My daughter, pointing a gun at me through an Uber window in suburban Boston like we're in some straight-to-streaming crime thriller. Behind her, I see Brad, my son-in-law, 45, all gel-slicked hair and country club tan, wearing a Patriots hoodie like he's ever watched a game in his life. He married Victoria for the Hayes name and stayed for the Hayes money. I've known it for 7 years. I've tolerated it because she loved him, and I love her. "Eleanor," Brad says, leaning forward, all fake concern, "we just need to talk about the company, about your will. You've been sick, making questionable decisions. We're worried about you." The driver turns around, not an Uber driver, a man I've never seen, thick neck, dead eyes, earpiece glowing blue. Professional. This is professional. My phone buzzes in my hand. Security alert from the house. I installed cameras everywhere after the cancer diagnosis, paranoid about dying alone and no one finding me for days. I glance at the notification. My blood turns to ice water. The live feed shows my front door. My teenage grandson, Victoria's boy, 17-year-old Mason, is letting 3 men in suits walk through my foyer. My foyer. He's smiling, waving them in like they're pizza delivery. The timestamp says it's happening right now, 20 feet behind me. "You're stalling," Victoria says. She cocks the gun. The sound is small and final, like a period at the end of a death sentence. "Dad's company should have been mine when he died. You stole it. You stole everything. Those pills you pushed on me after my back surgery. Those free samples from your precious lab. You made me this way, and now you're going to fix it." My mind is racing. Dad's company. She still thinks Richard built this. She has no idea I was the chemist, the one who formulated everything while he played golf and glad-handed investors. She thinks I inherited it, not earned it. "Victoria, sweetheart, you're not thinking clearly. The medication, it's affecting your judgment. I'm buying time, trying to understand the geometry of this trap. Fake Uber driver. Daughter with a gun. Grandson as inside man. 3 strangers in my house. This isn't desperation. This is orchestration." I'm thinking perfectly clear for the first time in years. Her voice cracks, and for a second I see my little girl, the one who brought me dandelions and called them sunshine flowers. "You owe me, Mom. You owe me the life you took. Get in the car, or I swear to God, we'll drag you in." The driver steps out, 6'3", 240, moving like liquid violence. Brad opens the back door. Victoria keeps the gun trained on my chest, and her hand isn't shaking anymore. I'm 65 years old. I survived cancer by injecting experimental poison into my veins every Tuesday for 6 months. I built an empire in an industry that eats women alive. I buried a husband and raised a daughter solo, and never once asked for help or mercy. But right now, standing on my own porch while my family orchestrates my kidnapping, I realize something sharp and terrible. I don't know these people anymore. And they don't know what I'm capable of. The driver grabs my arm. His grip is iron. Victoria's eyes are hollow caves. Brad is already pulling out papers, a pen, smiling like we're closing a real estate deal. "Let's go talk about your legacy, Eleanor," Brad says. "Before it's too late." They pull me toward the car, and somewhere in my house, I hear glass breaking. The driver shoves me into the back seat next to Victoria, and the door slams like a coffin lid. Brad climbs in the front. Child locks click. We're moving before I can breathe, tearing down Beacon Street past the mansions where my neighbors are probably sipping Merlot and watching Netflix, completely unaware that their pharmaceutical queen is being kidnapped by her own blood. Victoria's gun is still out, resting on her thigh now, casual as a cell phone. She looks at me with those dead eyes, and I see the daughter I lost somewhere between her third prescription refill and her first lie about running out early. "You know what's funny, Mom?" She's not laughing. "I used to worship you." Eleanor Hayes, the genius chemist who built an empire. The woman who could synthesize molecules and crush competitors before breakfast. "Victoria, please." My voice is steady, even though my heart is hammering against my ribs like it's trying to escape. "This isn't you. The addiction. It's rewiring your brain. Let me help you. Real help this time. Not just money thrown at Connecticut country clubs pretending to be rehab centers." Brad turns around from the front seat, all slick smile and cold calculation. "Eleanor, always so dramatic. We just need you to sign some papers. Transfer the company assets into a family trust. Name Victoria as CEO. Simple estate planning that should have happened years ago." Something crumples in Victoria's other hand. She tosses it at me. A folded piece of notebook paper, torn at the edges. I open it with shaking fingers. The handwriting is Victoria's. That looping script I taught her in 3rd grade when we practiced cursive at the kitchen table over hot chocolate. But the words are poison. "Mom, they're inside. Sign or they start with your grandbabies." My blood turns to ice. Grandbabies, plural. Mason has a little sister. Emma, she's 12. Sweet, innocent Emma, who still believes in the tooth fairy and wants to be a veterinarian. I left her a trust fund last year for her education. She should be safe at Victoria and Brad's house in Newton. "Where's Emma?" I demand, my voice sharp as a scalpel. "Victoria, where is your daughter right now?" Victoria's face twists. Guilt flashes across it, quick as lightning, then hardens back into that dead mask. "She's safe. As long as you cooperate. Mason knows what to do." The driver catches my eye in the rearview mirror. Boston accent thick as clam chowder, the real kind, not that Manhattan tomato garbage. "Lady, I'm no Uber driver. Your daughter here paid me 50 grand to deliver you gift wrapped. Nothing personal, just business." $50,000. I laugh. I actually laugh, and it comes out bitter as black coffee at Dunkin's. No sugar, no cream, just burnt and honest like my chemo days when I'd force down caffeine to stay conscious through board meetings. 50 grand? I look at Victoria. "You paid a hitman $50,000 with what money? The rehab fund? The trust I set up for your mortgage when Brad lost his job at the hedge fund? Or did you finally pawn your grandmother's engagement ring like I knew you would?" Victoria's face flushes red. The gun shakes now. Shut up about the ring. I had to. You don't give me enough. You never gave me enough. Everything was always about the company, about Dad's legacy." Dad's legacy? Now I'm the one who's angry. 65 years of swallowing words, playing nice, being the supportive widow, and something in me just snaps. Your father was a drunk who charmed investors and took credit for my formulas. I built Hayes Pharmaceuticals. Me. While he was out on that boat with his secretary, I was in the lab at 3 a.m. running trials. The driver's eyes widen in the mirror. Even Brad looks shocked. Victoria's mouth opens, closes, opens again like a fish drowning in air. "You're lying," she whispers. "Dad was brilliant. Everyone said so. He graduated from Harvard." He graduated from Harvard with a business degree and a drinking problem. I graduated from MIT with a chemistry PhD and the backbone that built everything you're trying to steal. I've been calculating while talking. We're heading toward Starro Drive, probably planning to take me somewhere industrial, somewhere soundproof. The driver's a pro, but he's relaxed now, thinking a 65-year-old cancer survivor is no threat. He's wrong. I didn't survive stage 3 breast cancer by being delicate. I didn't build a pharmaceutical empire by playing nice. And I sure as hell didn't beat 12 rounds of experimental chemo to fold for a junkie daughter who blames me for her pill habit. My Manolo Blahnik heel, 4 inches of Italian leather and steel, is still on my foot. Yes, at 65 I still rock stilettos to oncology appointments, because if I'm going to get good news or bad news, I'm going to look damn good hearing it. The child lock mechanism on these Camrys is plastic. I know because I researched every car safety feature when Mason was born. Paranoid new grandmother behavior that's about to save my life. I slam my heel down hard on the lock mechanism. Once. Twice. The plastic cracks. Victoria screams. Brad yells. The driver swerves. Third hit. The lock shatters. I throw my weight against the door and roll out onto Commonwealth Avenue going 30 miles an hour. The world tumbles. Pavement scrapes my palms. Leaves crunch under me like broken trust, like shattered families, like all the lies I told myself about keeping everyone together. I hit the curb hard enough to see stars. Car brakes screech behind me, footsteps running. But I'm already up, already moving, already reaching for my phone in my cardigan pocket. And that's when I see the police lights coming down the avenue. Blue and red, beautiful as salvation. Until I see who's driving the cruiser. Brad's brother. Jake. Newton PD. Off duty tonight. Or, so I thought. The rescue isn't real. Nothing is real anymore. Jake steps out of the cruiser, all official in his Newton PD uniform, radio crackling. For half a second, I almost believe it's real. Almost run to him screaming about kidnapping and guns and my daughter losing her mind. Then I see him smile at Brad, that knowing family conspiracy smile, the kind that says we rehearsed this. I'm still on the ground, palms bleeding, leaves stuck to my cashmere cardigan. The fake Uber driver is jogging toward me, Victoria stumbling behind him, gun still in her shaking hand. My daughter, my baby girl. Trying to kill me on Commonwealth Avenue like this is Southie in the 80s. Jake calls out, all fake concern dripping like honey. "Ma'am, are you all right? These folks said you fell out of a moving vehicle. Do you need medical attention?" Translation. Get in the cruiser or we'll force you in. Nice and legal looking. I do the only thing that makes sense. I run. 65 years old, post-cancer, wearing heels, and I sprint like I'm being chased by the devil himself. Because I am. Except the devil has my daughter's eyes and my grandson's DNA. Behind me, Jake yells something about stop and obstruction. Victoria screams for me to wait. But I'm already cutting through the side streets, the alleys I know from 30 years of living in this neighborhood, past the reservoir where I used to jog before the chemo, behind the country club where I never quite fit in because I actually worked for my money. My phone is still clutched in my bloody palm. I duck behind a stone wall near the Brookline Reservoir, October wind cutting through my torn cardigan, and pull up my security app. The live feed from my house loads. My stomach drops through the earth. There's Mason, my 17-year-old grandson, standing in my foyer in his Boston College High hoodie, the one I bought him last Christmas for $200, because he had to have the authentic one, not some knockoff. He's waving two men in suits through the garage entrance like he's hosting a party. They're carrying boxes, my files, my personal files from the home office. Mason sees the camera, looks directly into it, and smiles. Not a guilty smile, not an ashamed smile, a triumphant smile, like he just won a game I didn't know we were playing. I feel something crack in my chest that has nothing to do with cancer. That boy, that child I paid private school tuition for. $80,000 a year so he could get the best education, meet the right people, have opportunities I never had. The kid I took to Fenway Park every opening day since he was 6, teaching him to keep score, buying him Fenway Franks and overpriced Cracker Jacks. He just sold me out for what? A bigger allowance? A new car? His mother's approval? Hysterical laughter bubbles up from somewhere dark and broken. It comes out sounding like sobbing. Me, Eleanor Hayes, the woman who stared down FDA regulators over approval delays. The woman who fired a CFO for embezzlement without blinking. The woman who kept working through chemo because sick days meant weakness. Undone by a teenager in a hoodie. But then rage floods in, hot and clarifying as chemotherapy burning through my veins. Victoria used my free samples to get hooked. Those pills I gave her after her back surgery, thinking I was being helpful, thinking I was being a good mother. Take these instead of the pharmacy generics, honey. These are better. These are ours. I created her monster, and now she's trying to devour everything I built. My hands shake as I scroll to my contacts, past Victoria, past Brad, past Mason and Emma, all the way down to the bottom, to the number I swore I'd never call again. The number that shouldn't exist because the man who owns it died 15 years ago. Richard, my dead husband, except maybe not so dead. I type fast, fingers slipping on the screen. Patrick, they're in the house. I use his real name, Patrick Richard Hayes. He hated Patrick, went by Richard. But Patrick was what his mother called him, what the Coast Guard report listed, what's carved on the empty grave in Mount Auburn Cemetery. 3 dots appear. He's typing. My heart stops. Then, I never died, Ellie. I hid the money from them. Get to Street Mary's. Father O'Connor's waiting. The phone nearly falls from my shaking hands. 15 years. 15 years of widow black and sympathy cards and running this company solo and mourning a man who apparently faked his death and left me to face the wolves alone. The rage now isn't just fire. It's nuclear. Another text. They were bleeding us dry even then. Victoria's first rehab was $300,000 in 6 months. Brad's gambling debts. I had to protect the assets. I'm sorry. Sorry. He's sorry. He let me grieve. Let me build his memorial. Let me explain to our 7-year-old grandson why Grandpa wasn't coming home. Let me shoulder every board meeting, every FDA inspection, every quarterly earnings call alone. A third text. Files are with O'Connor. Everything Brad's been stealing, everything Victoria's been hiding. The embezzlement goes back 8 years. Trust me one more time. Trust him, the man who faked his death, the man who watched from whatever hole he crawled into while I survived cancer alone, while I fought our daughter's addiction alone, while I built his company into something worth stealing. But I'm out of options. Victoria and Brad have my house. Jake has a badge and a gun. That driver has 50,000 reasons to drag me back. And Mason, my sweet boy, has apparently chosen his mother's team. I'm 65, bleeding, hunted, and absolutely done playing victim. I push off the wall and start running towards Street Mary's, 3 blocks away. Past the Orthodox synagogue, past the brownstones, toward the church where I used to pray before I stopped believing anyone was listening. Time to see what my dead husband has been hiding. Time to burn this family down and build it back right. Or not build it back at all. I burst through Street Mary's side entrance like I'm 25 again, dodging BU campus cops after midnight mass with fake ID wine still buzzing in my veins. Except now I'm 65, bleeding, and being hunted by my own family on streets decorated with plastic skeletons and elect Healy yard signs that feel bitterly ironic. Halloween is in 3 weeks. Looks like I'm living it early. Father O'Connor is waiting inside the sacristy, old as the church itself, white collar bright against his black shirt. He takes one look at me, torn cardigan, scraped palms, leaves in my silver hair, and doesn't ask questions. Just locks the heavy oak door behind us. Eleanor. His voice is sandpaper and sympathy. Patrick said you'd come. Sit down before you fall down. He guides me to a wooden chair that probably dates back to the Kennedy administration. Everything in this church is old, solid, real. Unlike my family. Unlike everything I thought I knew. Father O'Connor hands me a thick manila envelope. The kind lawyers use. The kind that changes lives. He left this with me 8 years ago, updated it every year on the anniversary of his supposed death. Instructions were clear. If you ever came here running, I give you this. My hands shake opening it. Inside are documents. Bank statements. Email printouts. Photographs. All marked with dates, highlighted in yellow, annotated in Richard's No Patrick's handwriting. The first page is a Cayman Islands account statement. $12 million. My $12 million. Money I earned from patent sales, from drug approvals, from 16-hour days and weekends at the lab. Money that should be in our business accounts. Except it's not, because 8 years ago, Brad was made CFO, and Brad has been systematically draining the company into offshore accounts that Victoria can access. My phone buzzes, Patrick calling. I answer because what else is there to lose at this point? Ellie. His voice. I haven't heard it in 15 years, but it's exactly the same. That South Boston accent he tried to hide at Harvard, the one that came back when he drank. I know you hate me. I deserve it, but listen fast. I'm listening. My voice is ice. From beyond the grave, apparently. Victoria's not just stealing the money, she's selling the drug formulas, the cancer treatments, your treatments, to Chinese pharmaceutical buyers. She needs your signature to access the Cayman accounts and complete the transfer. That's what tonight is about. The room tilts. Father O'Connor steadies my chair, the cancer drugs, the experimental treatments that saved my life. The formulas I developed over 5 years of trials, the ones that aren't even FDA approved yet, the ones worth hundreds of millions once they hit market. My daughter is selling them to foreign buyers who reverse engineer them, undercut us, and destroy everything I built, and probably kill patients with untested knockoffs in the process. How much? I ask. How much is she getting paid? $20 million. Wire transfer, soon as you sign. Brad arranged it through some hedge fund connections. They planned this for 2 years, Ellie, since your cancer diagnosis. Since my cancer diagnosis. While I was puking from chemo, losing my hair, wondering if I'd live to see 66, my daughter and son-in-law were planning to steal my life's work and sell it to the highest bidder. I feel my knees try to buckle even though I'm sitting. Maternal guilt hits like a nor'easter, that particular New England storm that comes out of nowhere and destroys everything in its path. This is my fault. I gave her those first pills. I was so proud of our painkillers, so eager to help her after the car accident and her back surgery. Take these, honey. They're better than what the hospital gave you. They're ours. They're safe. I turned my daughter into an addict because I was too busy being super CEO mom to notice she was taking 6 pills instead of 2. 12 instead of 6. crushing them, snorting them, spiraling. And when I finally noticed, I threw money at the problem. Rehab centers, therapists, guilt payments disguised as trust funds, and mortgage help, enabling disguised as love. I raised a monster because I was never actually there. I was in the lab, in the boardroom, building an empire while my family rotted from the inside. Ellie? Patrick's voice cracks. You still there? Why? The word comes out broken. Why did you fake your death? Why leave me alone with this? Because they would have bled us both dry. Victoria was already stealing, forging checks, using company credit cards for her dealers. Brad had gambling debts to people who break kneecaps. I couldn't protect the company with them circling. So I died, moved the assets they couldn't touch, and watched. Waited. I'm sorry. Sorry. Everyone's sorry, but sorry doesn't unfake a death. Sorry doesn't unaddict my daughter. Sorry doesn't give me back 15 years. I look at Father O'Connor. He's praying silently, rosary beads clicking through his weathered fingers. Then I look at the documents. Email chains showing Brad's embezzlement. Screenshots of Victoria's communications with Chinese buyers. Bank transfers. Forged signatures. A conspiracy so big it would make front-page news. The Boston Globe, the Herald. Every media outlet in Massachusetts would eat this alive. Pharmaceutical CEO's family tries to kill her and steal experimental cancer drugs. It's a movie plot. Except it's my life. I almost sign. I almost give them everything just to make it stop. The maternal guilt is crushing. She's my daughter, my only child. How do you destroy your own blood? But then I remember Mason's smile on that security camera. That triumphant, greedy smile. I remember Victoria's dead eyes pointing a gun at me. I remember 17 years of being strong when I wanted to break, of fighting when I wanted to quit, of surviving when dying seemed easier. I didn't beat stage 3 cancer to roll over for thieves. Even if they came from my body. Father, I say, my voice steady now, clear as lab glass. Bless this phone. I'm calling the Globe. Patrick's voice in my ear. Ellie, wait. You waited 15 years. I'm done waiting. Time to burn it all down. I'm about to dial the Boston Globe newsroom when sirens split the night. Close. Getting closer. Father O'Connor's iPad on the desk lights up with my security feed. 2 Brookline police cruisers screech into my driveway, blue lights painting my white Colonial like a crime scene, which I guess it is now. Officers pour out, 4 of them, full tactical gear. Victoria runs out my front door, mascara streaking her hollow face, arms spread wide like she's greeting saviors. She collapses into the arms of the lead officer, sobbing, pointing back at the house, playing the victim. Playing the terrified daughter whose mother just escaped from a mental health crisis. I know this play. I wrote it myself 20 years ago when I had to commit Richard's mother to a facility against her will, the tears, the trembling hands. The concerned family members who just want to help their sick loved one. Father O'Connor leans over my shoulder, squinting at the screen. His breath smells like communion, wine, and peppermint. Eleanor, those badges look off. The uniforms, too. See how the patches are wrong? He's right. The Brookline PD seal is slightly off-center. The badge number's too high. These aren't cops. These are Brad's people. More hired muscle dressed in costume shop blues. On the screen, Mason appears in the doorway behind Victoria. My grandson. He's supposed to be looking triumphant, right? Supposed to be part of this crew. But his face goes white as Sam Adams' lager foam. Pure white, terror white. He's staring at the fake cops and backing away, shaking his head. Whatever he signed up for, whatever his mother promised him, this wasn't it. Good. Maybe there's hope for him yet. Maybe. One of the fake cops talks into a radio. Probably coordinating with Jake in his real cruiser, with the Uber driver, with whoever else Brad bought tonight. They're forming a perimeter. Hunting me. Patrick's voice crackles through my phone, still connected. Ellie, they're going to storm the church. Father O'Connor needs to get out. You need to hide. Vindication surges through me like the Charles River at high tide, fast and unstoppable and cold. They think I'm weak. They think I'm prey. They think 65 and post-cancer means broken. They're about to learn different. Father, I say, standing up, brushing leaves off my torn cardigan. You should probably step back. Eleanor Hayes, don't you dare. I'm already moving. Out of the sacristy, through the nave where I used to sit every Sunday before Richard died, before I stopped believing God cared about pharmaceutical CEOs. My heels click on marble floors. The crucifix above the altar watches me with wooden eyes. I throw open the front doors of St. Mary's like I'm Paul Revere announcing the British are coming, except I'm Eleanor Hayes announcing that nobody steals from me. Not my family. Not Chinese buyers. Not fake cops in wrong badges. Get off my property. I scream into the October night, and my voice echoes off brownstones and stops traffic on Harvard Street. Pure Southie accent, the one I buried under years of board meetings and pharmaceutical conferences. This is still America, and this is still my company, and you fake badge-wearing thieves can go straight to hell. Okay, so it's not no taxation without representation, but it's close enough. Boston Tea Party energy, Revolutionary War vibes, except with more cursing and less tea. Victoria's head snaps up. She sees me on the church steps, lit by streetlights and righteous fury. Her face does something complicated. Shock, shame, then something darker. Mom! She's running toward me now, the fake cops trying to hold her back. Mom, please, just listen. I didn't want this. Brad made me. The addiction, I couldn't think straight. I love you. I'm so sorry. She's crying. Real tears. The kind I remember from when she was 7 and broke my grandmother's vase, when she was 16 and wrecked the car, when she was 23 and told me she was pregnant and scared. My daughter. My baby. Crumbling on church steps, reaching for me. Every maternal instinct I have screams to run to her, to hold her, to fix this, to save her, like I've been trying to save her for 20 years. I take one step down. Then I see Brad behind her, see him nod to the fake cops, see one of them reach for his gun. A real gun, not a prop. Victoria, I say, and my voice is steady. If you're sorry, call them off. Right now. Tell Brad this is over. She looks back at her husband, then at me. Her face changes. The tears dry up like they were never real. The victim mask cracks and underneath is rage. Pure, burning rage. You ruined my life. She's screaming now, climbing the steps toward me. Those pills ruined me. You cared more about your precious company than your own daughter. Dad faked his death to get away from you. Mason hates you. Everyone hates you. She lunges. I sidestep. 65 and I still have reflexes. Her hand swings, catches my cheek. Stars explode. I taste blood. Behind us, Father O'Connor gasps, Mother of God. Behind Victoria, the fake cop raises his gun, points it at me. Professional stance, this is happening. This is really happening. A crack splits the air, not a gunshot, a car backfire, but everyone flinches, ducks, scatters. Except me. I stand on those church steps, blood on my lip, watching my daughter unravel, watching my family empire crumble, watching everything I built turn to ash. And I laugh. I actually laugh. Because I'm 65 years old and I'm still starting revolutions. Father O'Connor crosses himself, muttering, Eleanor, you're crazier than the Kennedys. Father, I say, wiping blood from my mouth. The Kennedys wish they were this crazy. Time to end this, Boston style. The fake cops scatter when real sirens approach. Someone called actual police. Maybe a neighbor. Maybe God himself got tired of watching this circus. Victoria doesn't run. She pushes past the fake officers and stumbles through the church doors, mascara rivers running down her Back Bay Botox face. She collapses in a pew, third row from the front. The same pew where she sat for her first communion 28 years ago in a white dress and lace veil, smiling like angels were real. "Mom," her voice breaks on the word. "Mom, please. I needed the money for real rehab. Not the country club places you sent me to. Real treatment. Inpatient. Long term. Brad said this would be clean. Quick. Nobody would get hurt." I stand at the altar, still tasting blood from where she hit me. Father O'Connor hovers near the confessional, probably praying harder than he's prayed in years. My phone is recording everything. Patrick's still on the line, silent witness from whatever hole he's been hiding in. "Victoria?" I walk toward her slowly. "You hired someone to kidnap me, to force me to sign away everything I built. You brought guns to my home. You used your own son." I know, she's sobbing now, that ugly crying that contorts faces and steals breath. I know, and I hate myself. But Mom, you don't understand. After the miscarriage, after I lost the baby, you gave me those pills. Those free samples from your lab. You said they'd help with the pain. My heart cracks like the Green Monster scoreboard when the Red Sox lose in extra innings, loud, visible. Everyone can hear it shatter. The miscarriage. 12 years ago. Between Mason and Emma. A boy. She was 6 months along. They were going to name him Patrick, after his grandfather. After the man we thought was dead. She was devastated, blamed herself. The doctors said it wasn't her fault, these things happen, but she spiraled into depression so dark I thought we'd lose her too. So I helped. I gave her pills, my pills, our pills, the ones I formulated to be less addictive, safer, better. Except no opioid is safe when grief is driving the dosage. I started taking 6 instead of 2. Victoria's voice is barely a whisper, then 10. Then I was crushing them, mixing them with wine, anything to stop feeling. You were always at work. Brad was always gone. I was alone in that big house with a dead baby's nursery and pills that made everything fuzzy. Tears burn my cheeks, mine this time, not hers, mine. "I didn't know," I whisper. "Baby, I didn't know it got that bad." "You didn't ask." She looks up at me, and in her eyes I see the 7-year-old who scraped her knee, the teenager who got her heart broken, the daughter who needed her mother. "You wrote the prescription and went back to saving the world." I was just another patient file. I sink into the pew beside her. The wood is cold and hard and unforgiving, like truth. Like all the moments I missed because board meetings ran late, because FDA approvals needed attention, because saving strangers felt more important than watching my daughter drown. "I'm sorry," the words feel too small. "Victoria, I'm so sorry. I should have been there. I should have seen it." She leans against me. I smell her perfume, Chanel No. 5, the one I bought her for college graduation. Underneath it, something chemical. Something wrong. She's high right now. Even in this moment, she's high. Brad said we could start over. She's talking faster now. Words tumbling. The money from selling the formulas, we'd go somewhere warm. California, maybe. Get clean together. Buy a house near the beach. Be a real family. "Victoria." I pull back to look at her face. Really look. "Brad's not going to California with you. He's going to take the money and run. You know that, right?" Her expression flickers. Doubt, anger, then denial. "No, he loves me. He promised." "He promised through a fake cop with a gun pointed at your mother." "You don't understand," she's yelling again, shoving away from me. The emotional whiplash is textbook addict behavior, tears to rage in 3 seconds. You never understood. You had your company, your success, your perfect life. I had nothing but pills and a husband who tolerates me, and kids who are ashamed of me. I recognize the manipulation now, the cycle I've been feeding for years, the guilt trips followed by promises, followed by relapses, followed by more guilt trips, an Ouroboros of dysfunction eating its own tail. I made mistakes. I gave her those first pills. I enabled her addiction with money and excuses and maternal guilt. I built an empire while my family crumbled. But she chose to hire hitmen. She chose to sell cancer drugs to foreign buyers. She chose to point a gun at me and threaten to kill me. You chose this, Victoria. I stand up, and my voice is steel wrapped in sorrow. I chose to save lives with those drugs. You chose to sell them. I chose to build something meaningful. You chose to destroy it. Mom, I love you. God help me, I will always love you. But love doesn't mean surrender. Not anymore. Father O'Connor hands me his rosary beads, heavy wooden beads on strong cord. Symbolic, sure, but in this moment they work. I take Victoria's wrists gently but firmly. She doesn't fight. Maybe she's too shocked. Maybe some part of her wants to be stopped. I'm not signing anything, I tell her. And you're not walking out of here a free woman. Through the church windows, real police lights paint the stained glass in alternating blue and red. My daughter, my disaster, my heartbreak. But not my destroyer. Not tonight. The church doors open again. Not Victoria this time. Not fake cops or hired muscle or family members trying to destroy me. A man walks in. Tall. Bearded. Gray hair. Where it used to be dark brown. Weathered face, like he spent 15 years hiding from the sun and the world. Patriots jersey under a worn leather jacket. Patrick Richard Hayes. My dead husband. Very much alive. I'm still holding Victoria with Father O'Connor's rosary beads, still processing that my daughter tried to kill me, still bleeding from where she hit me. And now my husband, who I buried, who I mourned, who I grieved over for 15 years, walks into Street Mary's like he just ran out for milk. Ellie. His voice cracks on my name. I'm sorry. I'm so damn sorry. Victoria's head snaps up. She sees her father and makes a sound like a wounded animal. Shock, horror, confusion. All at once. Dad? Dad? You're alive? Baby girl. Patrick stops 10 feet away, hands up like he's approaching a spooked horse. I never wanted you to know. I had to protect the company. You were stealing even then. The prescriptions you forged, the accounts you emptied. I couldn't let you destroy what your mother built. My mind is reeling. Rage floods through me first, hot and immediate. He let me grieve. Let me wear black for a year. Let me explain to 7-year-old Mason why Grandpa wasn't coming to his birthday party. Let me shoulder every single burden alone while he hid like a coward. Then relief, because he's alive, the man I loved, the father of my child, the person who knew me before I became CEO Eleanor Hayes, before cancer, before everything got so complicated. And underneath both, something unexpected, something I haven't felt in years, desire. Because at 65, looking at my supposedly dead husband in a Patriots jersey with silver in his beard, I realize he still makes my heart skip. What is wrong with me? Victoria is sobbing. You let us think you were dead. You watched Mom struggle. You watched me fall apart. I watched you choose pills over family, Patrick says, and his voice is granite. I watched you steal from your mother, forge her signature. I had to hide the assets before you bled everything dry. The boating accident was the only way. Real police are inside the church now. Not fake badges this time. Real Brookline PD, plus suits that scream FBI. They're talking to Father O'Connor, taking Victoria from me gently but firmly, reading her rights. One agent approaches me. Young woman, sharp suit, sharper eyes. Mrs. Hayes? I'm Special Agent Chen. We've been investigating your son-in-law's offshore accounts for 6 months. Your husband's files gave us everything we needed. My husband's files. My dead-alive husband's files. Where's Brad? I ask. Agent Chen almost smiles. Brookline High football field. We arrested him 20 minutes ago, middle of the pep rally. Apparently he was giving a speech about community investment. Ironic. I laugh. I can't help it. Brad arrested at a high school pep rally, probably mid-sentence about giving back to Brookline youth, while FBI agents cuff him in front of cheerleaders and the marching band. It's so perfectly humiliating I want to frame it. Patrick moves closer. The agents let him. Apparently they've been working with him. My dead husband has been cooperating with federal investigators while I fought cancer and ran a company and survived assassination attempts. Ellie, he's in front of me now. Close enough to touch. I know I can't fix this, can't unfake my death, can't give you back 15 years. But I need you to know, I watched you every day. Watched you beat cancer. Watched you build the company into something incredible. Watched you become the strongest person I've ever known. Rage and relief are still warring in my chest, but something else is winning, clarity. I don't need you to save me, I tell him. My voice is steady. Sure, I needed the truth to set me free. And now I have it. Patrick nods. He understands. Or he's trying to. Fair enough. But I'm glad you're not dead. The admission costs me something. Pride, maybe. Or the armor I've been wearing for 15 years. I'm angry. I'm furious. But I'm glad. We stand there in the nave of St. Mary's, surrounded by FBI agents and police officers, and Father O'Connor praying in the corner. Outside, Victoria is being loaded into a real police cruiser. My daughter. My disaster. My heartbreak. Patrick's eyes are wet. I love you, Ellie, never stopped, not for one day. You have a hell of a way of showing it. But I'm crying too. Angry tears. Relieved tears. Too many emotions for a 65-year-old woman who just survived her own family trying to murder her. He drops to one knee right there on the marble floor, like a proposal, like a plea. Forgive me, please? I'll spend the rest of my life making this right. I look down at my husband, my dead husband, my alive husband, this man who faked his death and broke my heart and apparently spent 15 years protecting me from the shadows like some kind of Irish mob guardian angel. He's ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. My life is a bad Lifetime movie except with better pharmaceutical details. I smirk. Can't help it. Only if you mow the lawn for the next 20 years, and clean the gutters, and never, ever fake your death again. Patrick laughs. Actually laughs. Deal. Agent Chen clears her throat. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes, we need statements. Both of you. And there's the matter of your grandson. Mason's cooperating, says he didn't know about the guns, thought it was just a family intervention. Right, Mason, my grandson who let strangers into my house. That mess is still waiting. But for now, I let Patrick help me to my feet, let him steady me when my knees shake, let myself be 65 and tired and traumatized and still somehow standing. We walk out of St. Mary's together, into flashing police lights, and October cold and whatever comes next. Together. Finally. 6 months later. Patriots' Day. Marathon Monday. Suffolk Superior Court in downtown Boston, where the humidity smells like justice and hot dogs from the street vendors outside. The courthouse is crawling with security, bomb-sniffing dogs, metal detectors, extra cops because of the marathon route running right past the building, thousands of runners pounding pavement while inside. I'm fighting a different kind of race. United States versus Victoria Hayes and Bradley Cunningham. Federal charges. Conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Wire fraud. Attempted extortion. Drug trafficking. The list goes on for 3 pages. I sit in the gallery, Patrick beside me for the first time in 15 years. His hand finds mine. We're not fixed, not by a long shot, but we're together, figuring it out. Marriage counseling twice a week, and a lot of very loud arguments about trust and truth. Victoria walks in wearing mint green rehab scrubs from the federal facility in Connecticut. Real rehab this time, court mandated. She's gained weight. Her skin has color. Her eyes are clear for the first time in years. She looks young and terrified and nothing like the hollow-eyed woman who pointed a gun at me. Brad follows in orange prison jumpsuit, chains rattling. He's lost that country club tan, lost the gel-slicked hair and the smug smile. He looks exactly like what he is, a con man who got caught. Mason is here. My 17-year-old grandson sits 3 rows behind me, flanked by his court-appointed guardian. He testified yesterday, cried on the stand, said he thought it was just a family meeting, didn't know about the guns, panicked when he saw what was happening. The prosecutor believed him, gave him immunity in exchange for testimony. Emma is with Patrick's sister in Vermont. Away from all this, safe, that's all that matters. The prosecution calls me to the stand. I stand up in my best Street John knit suit, navy blue with gold buttons, the armor I wear to FDA hearings and board meetings. My heels click on marble floors. I place my hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth. The whole truth this time. No more secrets, no more enabling, no more maternal guilt masquerading as love. The prosecutor is a woman about Victoria's age. Sharp, prepared. She walks me through the timeline, building Hayes Pharmaceuticals from nothing, Richard's supposed death. Raising Victoria alone while running a company. The free samples I gave her after the miscarriage. The spiral into addiction. The theft. The embezzlement. The kidnapping plot. Mrs. Hayes, she asks, do you believe your daughter is capable of redemption? I look at Victoria. She's crying silently, shoulders shaking, trying to disappear into those mint green scrubs. I believe she's capable of change, I say carefully. If she chooses it, if she does the work. But I can't save her. I tried for 20 years, nearly got killed for it. She has to save herself. Do you forgive her? The courtroom goes silent. Even the judge leans forward. I take a breath. I love my daughter. I will always love her. But love and forgiveness aren't the same as trust, or safety, or allowing someone to destroy you because you share DNA. Can you elaborate? I built Hayes Pharmaceuticals while raising her alone, worked 80-hour weeks, missed recitals and parent-teacher conferences and probably 1,000 small moments. I wasn't perfect, but I gave her everything I had. She chose addiction over family, over her own children, over basic human decency. I choose boundaries over burial. I choose life over guilt. I choose me. The words echo in the courtroom, choose me, after 65 years of choosing everyone else first. Victoria sobs louder. Brad stares at his chains. Patrick squeezes my hand so hard it hurts. The prosecutor nods. No further questions. The defense attorney tries to break me. Suggests I enabled Victoria's addiction, implies I was a neglectful mother. Insinuates I'm partly responsible for everything that happened. You're absolutely right, I tell him. I made mistakes. I gave her those first pills. I threw money at problems instead of addressing them. I enabled her for years because I felt guilty for working, for succeeding, for being ambitious instead of just being mom. But you know what? I'm done apologizing for building something meaningful. I'm done feeling guilty for being good at my job. My daughter is an addict and a criminal. I'm a survivor and a fighter. We're not the same. The gallery erupts. The judge bangs his gavel. The defense attorney sits down looking like he regrets his strategy. Closing arguments blur together. The prosecutor paints Victoria and Brad as greedy, desperate criminals who tried to kill a cancer survivor for money. The defense claims addiction is a disease, that Victoria needs treatment, not prison, that Brad was just trying to help his sick wife. The jury gets the case at 11:15 a.m. Marathon runners are finishing outside, crowds cheering Boston at its finest. They're back at 11:27. 12 minutes. That's all it takes. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. On the charge of conspiracy to commit kidnapping, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of wire fraud? Guilty. 8 charges, 8 guilty verdicts. Victoria collapses. Brad goes rigid. Patrick pulls me close, and I feel something lift from my chest. Weight I've been carrying for years, maybe decades. The weight of trying to save people who didn't want to be saved. The weight of maternal guilt and feminine conditioning, and the lie that good women sacrifice everything. Gone. Just gone. Outside, Boston erupts in cheers. The Red Sox just won. Perfect timing. This city knows how to celebrate. I stand up. Patrick stands with me. We walk out of that courtroom into April sunshine and marathon crowds and the rest of our lives. Together. Finally. Free. 6 months after the verdict. October again. Full circle. The leaves are turning blood red over Brookline just like they were the night my daughter tried to steal everything from me. Except now I'm 66 years old, cancer-free for 18 months, and Hayes Pharmaceuticals stock is up 40%. The cancer drug formulas that Victoria tried to sell, FDA approved 3 months ago. We're saving lives. Making headlines. Changing the game. I stand on my porch, the same porch where this nightmare started, holding my coffee and watching the sunrise paint the Charles River gold. Patrick is mowing the lawn. Shirtless. At 68. The Brookline wives pretend to jog past slower than usual. I see them looking. I laugh into my coffee because my supposedly dead husband has become neighborhood entertainment. Ellie, he waves. Sweaty, happy, ridiculous. How's it look? Like you're trying to give Mrs. Henderson a heart attack, I call back. He grins. That same grin that made me fall in love with him 45 years ago at a Harvard mixer. We're not fixed. Probably never will be. Completely. But we're honest now. Raw. Real. He moved back in 3 months ago. Sleeps in the guest room most nights. We're taking it slow, relearning each other, building something new on the ruins of what we were. My phone buzzes. Victoria, right on schedule. Morning, Mom. Her voice is clear. Strong. Sober. She's at McLean Hospital in Belmont, long-term residential treatment. Real treatment. The kind with therapy 5 days a week and accountability and no country club amenities. She's been there since sentencing. Will be there another year minimum. Morning, baby. Still coming tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. She gets a day pass every Sunday. We go to Mass at St. Mary's, then lunch, then back to McLean. Supervised visits, iron boundaries, no money exchanged, no guilt trips, just slow, painful rebuilding, or not. I'm prepared for both outcomes. Wouldn't miss it. Emma's coming too. She wants to show you her science project. Emma, my 12-year-old granddaughter. She lived with me and Patrick for 4 months while Victoria was in lockup and Brad awaited trial. Now she's with Patrick's sister in Vermont, finishing middle school somewhere safe and normal. She calls me every Tuesday. We talk about everything except her parents' federal charges. Tell her I can't wait. I love you, Victoria. A pause. She still doesn't know how to receive love without trying to weaponize it or trade it for something. But she's learning. Love you too, Mom. Mason's at Boston University. Full ride scholarship. I didn't pay for it. Refused to. He earned it himself. Works 2 jobs. Sees a therapist weekly. He wrote me a letter last month. 6 pages of apology and acknowledgement and taking responsibility. I wrote back, 1 page. I forgive you, but trust is earned, not given. Come to Sunday dinner when you're ready." He hasn't come yet. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Either way, I'm okay. Brad got 12 years federal prison. He'll serve at least 8. Good. I hope every single day reminds him that stealing from a 65-year-old cancer survivor was the worst decision of his pathetic life. I finish my coffee and check my watch. Time to head to Harvard Business School. I teach there now. Guest lecturer, Women in Leadership. How to build an empire without losing yourself. The students are young and hungry and terrified. I tell them the truth. It's hard. It's brutal. You'll sacrifice things. But you don't have to sacrifice everything. You don't have to light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. They take notes like I'm giving them the secret to eternal life. Maybe I am. Tonight I have Red Sox tickets, season tickets, skybox, in my name. Just mine. Patrick joins me sometimes. Sometimes I go alone. Sometimes I bring Emma or Mason or women from my mentorship program. My tickets, my choice. That freedom tastes better than champagne. The company thrives without me hovering every second. I promoted my VP to COO, hired a woman CFO, diversified the board. I still work, still love it, but I leave at 5 p.m. now. Have dinner with Patrick, take walks by the reservoir, go to bed at a reasonable hour. I survived stage 3 breast cancer. Survived my own family trying to murder me. Survived betrayal so deep, it should have broken me. Should have. Didn't. I'm 66 years old. I'm tougher than a nor'easter and twice as beautiful after the storm. My hair is silver. My scars are visible. My boundaries are titanium. I don't apologize for taking up space anymore. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't sacrifice to prove I'm worthy. I am worthy. Period. Full stop. No conditions. If you're watching this and you're a woman over 50, over 40, over 30, hell, over 20, and you've been betrayed by family, remember this. You are not responsible for other people's choices. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep them warm. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to be ambitious and successful and still be a good person. The people who love you will rise to meet your boundaries. The people who don't will reveal themselves. Let them. I'm Eleanor Hayes. I built a pharmaceutical empire, beat cancer, survived my daughter's murder plot, reclaimed my life at 66, and I'm not done yet, not even close. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Share your story in the comments. Let's build a community of women who refuse to be victims, who choose themselves, who rewrite the damn narrative. We're tougher than we think, stronger than they believe, and absolutely unstoppable when we finally stop apologizing for existing. This is Eleanor Hayes, signing off from Brookline, Boston, stronger than ever, unbreakable as the old North Church steeple, and just getting started.